And that is called foolishness.
At its
With a
best.
big F.
At its best. Because that thing would tick me off, Sheila. Ooh, I would be walking and bumping furniture and that thing, Angie. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Kingdom Women Talk, where we encourage, validate, and empower others to do life. Today we're going to be talking about gender roles. In the words of Pastor A, is it an equal opportunity?
It should be.
I agree.
Absolutely it is.
But you know there's a few that don't think so. There are a few that still believe the wife do this, the husband do that. Now, if we're honest with ourselves, I know if I'm honest with myself, there are a few things that I think that Troy should do that I just shouldn't have to do. Like, take the trash out. I'll give a courtesy pull, meaning I will take it out, tie it up, and I will open up the garage door and set it down and then close the door back so he can get it. But I don't think.
But you done already did the work.
I ain't doing that. Mm-mm.
Also, just taking the two more steps and just
That's all the way out.
outside,
That's all the way
dropping
out
it.
the house.
Okay. You shouldn't have never pulled
And
it
didn't
then.
want to, but I couldn't put no more in there. I said it was a courtesy. Couldn't put no more in there. It was to the limit. Because I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to go that far. You know, But then when I think about that, I think that comes from the fact that growing up, I never had to take the trash out. My dad always took the trash out. You know, that was the only thing that, you know, he did specifically, where everything else was kind of shared. Cooking, cleaning, you know, chores, inside the house, outside the house. Those things, equal opportunity. But it was something about that trash. We never had to take the trash out. My dad only did that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's where that comes from. But now we still have gentlemen and sometimes women that feel like things should either be 50-50 down the middle, or I'll cook and clean and you take care of everything else. But is that what God wants for us? Is that our makeup?
I mean, I think it should be shared. I mean, eventually marriage or whatever relationship it is that you're in, it evolves to a partnership, right? Marriage does after a certain number of years. And I feel like that it even from the onset, it just, everybody shares in getting it done.
Yes. But sometimes that's not always people's relationships, because I talked to a few women and they are slaving and busting their knuckles to the bone. And guess what? Mr. is propped up on the chair.
And that is called foolishness.
At its
With a
best.
big F.
At its best. Because that thing would tick me off, Sheila. Ooh, I would be walking and bumping furniture and that thing, Angie.
Slamming dishes.
That thing
No,
would.
ma'am.
Woo,
I don't see how.
I don't know how,
No.
but it's
I
out
don't
there.
see how.
It is, because you think about my situation, for instance. I don't pull trash because I didn't have to pull trash growing up. My dad did that. So think about if Mr. grew up in a household where mom did everything and the only thing that dad did was bring home a paycheck, then that means he was groomed that's how the roles are. So it's safe to say that
They ain't had no conversation.
nobody had a conversation. Or maybe she was okay with that. Some people enjoy being the homemaker at the home.
I do too.
That ain't my ministry. That ain't what I like to
I
do.
enjoy being a homemaker, however. I'm not going to be busting it and Mr. sitting with his feet propped up. Excuse me. I got something for you to do.
And then what happens? I'm gone, Sheila. But Sheila, I'm gonna be back. Sheila, I'm gonna run to the stove. You know how they do. I know how they do too. I'm gone.
And I can add, oh, you going to the store? Hold on, let me get my list.
Well, you know I ain't coming
Here you
right
go.
back.
Here you go. Here's my list.
You know that's the next thing. You know I'm not coming right back.
Here's my list. And I got some cold stuff in there too.
But I ain't coming right back. So those gender roles, I think gender roles can make or break a relationship if they're not communicated up front, because you have to communicate about the expectations.
And even through the course of dating, though, you get to see gender roles played out. You know, you have some men and or women when they're dating. You know, when we're dating, let's just be real, we put on a facade.
How about a whole front?
Yeah. When
You're a
when
completely
we're-
different person.
Hello.
Yeah.
So when
Really?
we're dating, we're not being authentic. So
So true.
the gentleman may say, I'll pick up the tab. Or he may say, let's go Dutch.
And 6 months later, he'll be looking like, you got some money? When you say, let's go out to eat, you got some money? So you're right. It does change over time, but sometimes it doesn't.
No, but that's what I'm saying, that in the beginning, sometimes people show you who they really are.
Yeah. I think we overlook that because I think my husband was very traditional when I met him, but I don't think I understood it to what degree or what level, you know, like what level. You know, he's traditional in that he don't mind cooking, but he think I should do the bulk of the cooking. Well, I'm traditional in that whoever get home first should cook. You know?
Yeah.
And if we don't feel like cooking, then that should be okay. That's my tradition.
Right.
But we never talked about that. So it became a bone of contention after the honeymoon phase was over, right? Because as we
Yes.
just said, while we were dating, I was cooking. So then when we got married, he expected that I was going to continue that. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm good for about 2-3 meals a week and a weekend.
Now, that was a conversation that Ray and I did have, and he's the cook. I'm not. And that was the conversation that we had prior to saying I do. I'm not going in the kitchen. I'm not going to cook.
Ever.
Never,
Ever,
ever. Never, ever.
Never, ever, ever.
No, ever.
But Angie ain't never really cooked, though.
Well, I know.
Angie has never cooked.
No.
'Cause
Wigs in the
that's
microwave.
it. I mean, to curl her hair, her
Roll
ponytail.
them
I
bad
ain't mad
boys
about
up.
it because you know I did
Pop 'em in
it
the
first.
microwave. First time they did that, I was like,
Huh. And what? And with that same comb,
yes.
shake her out, and now she ready to be wrapped
Wrapped
on.
around. There it is.
Yes, but so I'm thinking about. So that makes sense that you wouldn't. That she wouldn't.
But you had the conversation.
And we
Correct.
never had the conversation. It's important to establish gender rules in order for any relationship to work.
I agree with that.
It just cuts
I
down
do.
on the argument and the tension and the attitudes.
And the Bible does say that we are our husband's helpmates. Doesn't mean
Maids.
maids, slaves, servants,
So true.
helpmates.
Right?
Now, as a true disclaimer, we have to say it's not going to be cookie cut for every home.
No.
but you got to find what works for your home.
Exactly.
Very true.
There are distinct gender roles, but you got to figure out who's responsible for what, and only to make things work. It's just unrealistic to think that in this day and age where two-parent households are needed, both people need to be working in order to live a comfortable life, right? Because everything is high as the Dickens.
Absolutely.
So it's just unrealistic to think that it can be put all on one person. That one person can go work a 40-hour a week, 40-hour plus a week, and then come home and still cook, clean,
But
take care
they're
of the
doing
kids.
it. Some are doing
Some
it.
are doing it. Some are doing it.
to
And
the detriment of
yeah,
their own health, but
Yeah.
also what they're showing their sons and their daughters.
correct. Because if somebody else is there, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, whoever, whatever the relationship title is, I just don't understand how you can sit there and watch it all play out in front of your eyes and not offer, not step in, babe, I'll get the kids while you finish dinner, you know, or, oh, okay, you cook dinner, I'll wash the dishes. Nowadays, all you gotta do is load the dishwasher, you know. So I just don't understand. It's a selfish type of heart that just sits back and watch all of that play out when you know that person worked 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day, or it's been a long week for them, or you see them moving. Sometimes people can see you moving fatiguely and just still just, well, she better get that dinner cooked, or, well, he better get that grass cut. That's selfish of us. And so just,
Yeah.
it's just, I just don't understand how you can sit back and watch that.
Right.
If we say we love that individual, because doesn't that love extends to total everything? Mind, body, soul, physical being, well-being.
Right.
And we just sit back and be like, oh, well, I did say I'd do a courtesy pull, so I get it closer to the door.
Okay.
with loving kindness.
But isn't that like a level of serving, though?
Come on. Right?
Speak on it, Pastor A. Speak on it.
I mean,
That revelation just hit.
yeah, because I think, we really should look to serve our mates in to some degree or capacity. And, if it does mean that we assist them in picking up their shoes that they left downstairs, or, just something that's out of place, putting it back in place for them to help, so that it's not all on one person.
Even if it's every day.
No.
Remember, forgiveness is how many times? 70 times.
I ain't say I ain't say I'm like got unforgiveness in my heart. But every day you dropping your shoes in the same spot.
So if you can forgive that many times, you can talk about it every time. You can pick it up that many times.
Or I could throw them in the trash. They right there on the floor, in the way. And I've said one time, if I come in again and see them, they going in the trash.
And guess what that's going to cause? A pissing
Yeah.
contest. Because that means he going to then toss something of yours. Then you going to toss something of his.
No, we ain't going there.
And he going to go there.
No, you're not going
I
there.
tossed Troy Holloway shoes. Phew.
He that findeth, you heard what I said.
He that findeth. We're praying for you. We are praying for you.
Absolutely.
But I want to go back to the servant, because does it mean I don't have a servant heart because I'm not willing to help whom God gave to me?
I say yes.
Most definitely, yes.
I would definitely agree. So when the roles are unbalanced, check your heart.
Yeah.
Check your servitude. And I will even go on a stretch and a limb and say, If you can serve at church, if you can serve at work, if you can serve at the YMCA, if you can serve at the homeless shelter, but you can't serve right there in your own home, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite.
As my grandma always say, charity begins at home and then spreads abroad.
Absolutely. Because if you can do all of that, you can join the volunteer group at work. You can help your coworkers paint. You can help. If you can do all of that, but the roles at the home are unbalanced, you're a hypocrite. That means you're doing it for show. Because home is supposed to be where you love, right? That's your home.
Yeah.
That's your first ministry,
That is your first ministry.
is your home.
Right.
Because you're setting, especially if there are kids, because you're setting an example.
Yes.
You know, you're teaching them how to prosper in the adult world. You're teaching them how to care and love for one another. Regardless of, even if mom is a stay-at-home mom,
That's still a lot of work.
that's a lot of work.
It is.
And dad, yeah, you go
Absolutely
out and you
It's
work.
a lot of work.
and
That's
then
why
you
I'd rather
come
punch a
in.
clock.
You know, because
lot of work.
momming doesn't stop when
Momming
kids go to
don't
bed.
stop. Yeah.
I mean, I know I've done it, and you've all probably done it. I'm going up to bed, but I check the kitchen. Oh,
Yep.
there's dirt on the floor. I
It's
sweep
45
the
minutes
floor.
later.
Couple of dishes
not
in the
out.
sink. I wash them up, or I put them in the dishwasher. Like you said, that trash, I may tighten it up. I don't pull it, but I may tighten it up. Then on my way, man, I forgot I had a load of laundry in there. Let me get them clothes out
Right.
before they wrinkle.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot. I gotta go back downstairs and sign Susie's permission slip.
And where's Mr. in all of this?
In the bed, snug as a bug in the rug, sleep, or on his recliner, the TV watching him.
Right. Right.
Because I done said I was going to bed an hour ago.
But don't that thing just burn your biscuits?
Just
Yeah,
sometime.
it
you
does.
want-
That thing, I mean,
does.
that
It
thing
make you
burns.
feel- it makes you feel
Sheila,
away.
let
It
me
does.
tell you something.
Take that burned biscuit and throw it upside your head, girl.
It does make you feel away.
Let me
I
tell
love.
you, stuff like that make me want to shut the whole house down. Tomorrow I'm going on strike. I ain't cooking nothing, I ain't cleaning nothing.
nobody better
and
not.
nobody better not ask me for nothing, no snack, no nothing. And I mean it. I'm taking a day, I do a mandatory day of rest. Because that thing burns me up to see there's so much to be done.
But on the flip side of that, though, if we're telling Mr. Oh, I got it, you worked hard, I got it. Mr. ain't worked no harder than you. If he want to come
Correct.
in and wash dishes,
Let him do it.
let him do it.
Yes.
If he want to say, babe, I'm going to bring dinner home tonight, let him do it.
Yes. I think we have to do better in that regard, communicating these roles. This is what I expect. This is what what I'm going to contribute. But then also let them, and the kids too. We still washing clothes, kids 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. At what point can they wash their own clothes, right? We're still cleaning their rooms. They 15, 16, 12, 11 years old. Like, we have to start somewhere unloading these things off our plates. Because it's not just gender roles between husband and wife, it's also roles that the children play. Everybody in that household
Yeah.
play a role.
Everybody has their role.
Even
in
the
this
dog, you can say, get your ball and take it.
Right.
Go get in your bed.
Right.
So everybody got a role that they need
Yeah.
to play. And you're right, Sheila, but sometimes I got it. And we got to
Because
learn
you're not
to
going to do it
enforce.
right.
But and that's
They're not
exactly
gonna do
what,
it right.
what it is. You do have it all.
Yeah, but then we mad.
Yeah.
And and our reasoning is, well, they're not going to do it the way that I do it, or they're not going to do it right. I don't care. Let them do it.
They'll get better. Practice makes perfect.
Right. Let them do it. Well, there's still food on the.
That's okay.
That's
She got
okay.
3/4 of it up.
Right.
Look, we can coach to the
Well,
rest.
I like the bed. Look, that's his room. It just needs to be cleaned.
Yes.
Nyla's
Yeah.
3. And when her mom says, get in there and get that room clean, Missy Ma'am gets in there, get that room clean. It's like, look what I did. But she's 3.
Right. And
You gotta
also the
start
rule,
somewhere.
and we also have to know that what's appropriate at 3. Okay, it may not be spotless, but good gracious, she picked the toys up.
picked the toys up.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's appropriate for 3.
Yeah.
Now, if you're 7, I expect for you to do a little more.
Right.
If you're 13, I expect for you to do a little bit more. But you're right, we can't hold on to everything and then complain about we're tired.
I'm just so tired. I
Right.
mean, just because I'm a stay-at-home mom, people think I don't work. Well, if you're doing all the work and you got like 4 or 5 kids and they 11, 12, 13,
Yeah.
and you busting them to games and busting them here and taking them here, and I just feel like it's easier. No, it's not easier because we're not teaching them how to be responsible.
Right.
Because when they go out in the work world, there's roles that they're going to have to play.
Yeah.
And if
So
they're
very
not
true.
prepared to play that role,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, we have to do better. We do have to do better because we are setting expectations. And on top of that, we are raising our children to think things that are just unrealistic. And then they meet a wife and she like, what? Oh no, I don't know who told you that, but that's not how it goes. I don't know, or we're grooming them or nurturing them way longer than we should, which means that when they go to college, they grow up, they get married, then they expect the same thing. You have to trace it back. In all things, you trace it back to the root. If he expects that he shouldn't cook and clean, you trace it back. Where did that come from? Well, maybe he lived with his grandma and his mom, and they were the main ones that cooked and cleaned. He did not see where uncle, granddaddy, or anybody else contribute to that. But maybe he is an outdoorsman. Because what he saw was, as a husband, you go to work and you maintain the lawn, the hedges, wash the cars, you do those types of things. So you got to trace it back to where these things were taught. Where did they see this example? And if it's not working for you, then fix it. Don't let it. Because people break up behind this stuff.
They do.
and again, that starts with communication.
It starts with communication.
When you start dating and you start having conversations, especially if you're having those conversations about, you're going to be my wife, I'm going to be your husband. Okay, well, husband to be, what's your expectation
Right.
of your wife to be?
Right. And don't think that when he or she shares that with us, believe it.
Please.
Believe that it's the truth. Not, I ain't worried about that. I'll fix that later. No. That's going to be an argument every single day.
Yeah.
Believe it. And if you can't come to a reasoning while you're dating, you got to determine, is it a deal breaker?
Exactly.
Is it a deal breaker?
Well, no, it's not a deal breaker, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, because I can change him.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Because you got to change. That requires.
That is absolutely true. You cannot.
No, because you got to uproot what was taught, and ain't nobody got time for that.
So you spend the majority of your marriage arguing about
Pettiness.
pettiness. You know, I'm here in the house, I do all of this. Well, I told you in the beginning that I wasn't going to do none of that.
Right.
You wanted this big house.
Yeah. And even down to children and how many children. We got to talk about that too.
Absolutely.
Oh, nothing's off the table.
And our discipline roles, who's going to be the disciplinarian in the
Yes.
home?
Right. Because some women may feel as though they only want to have a child or 2 child, or sometimes it's 5 children. But the husband may say, I don't want any, or it may say, I want 4, or I want 3. You got to be on the same page about all of those things. So while there may be distinct gender roles, but there also has to be a time where those roles come together. for the common good of the relationship.
That is absolutely correct.
You know,
Right.
and batten down those outliers, those things that's hanging in the balance. But I think also it's important that no matter what the role is, that God is always at the center and at the head of that.
It definitely has to be.
To be able to bring this chaos
Absolutely.
under subjection, right? Because I do not believe that that is his desire for us to be squabbling over these types of things. There's bigger fish to fry
Right.
when we can come to a common ground and be able to move forward.
Right. And even if you didn't have the conversations beforehand, you know, it's never too late. You can still have them now. It might be difficult conversations to have, but they must be had.
Because you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
What?
I said I can't wait to get my old dog.
He might be a young pup. You don't know
prefer
what
the
the
old
Lord
dog.
might say. You said you prefer an old dog.
Yeah. Them new dogs got a potty trainer. Ain't got time to be teaching nobody.
Oh, you want a ready-made?
Yes.
Okay. I ain't mad about that. No, I am not. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be good for conversation when he that finally come along. That's gonna be really good. I can't wait.
Me either.
I cannot wait. She'll be part of the 70 and up married crew. Ain't that something?
Because we still married.
Yeah.
Say that ain't love. Yes.
Y'all gonna be like Abraham and Sarah.
Praise the Lord. I can remain barren though, Lord.
Yes. Wait, because we too old to be aunties. No
Ain't trying to
way.
birth no babies, Lord. But I'll take Sarah's longevity any day. And you can send me an Abraham, beard and all, Lord, beard and all.
So beard and all. Oh my goodness. Final thoughts about gender roles as we close.
I just think, like I just said a moment ago, that, you know, it's not too late for you to have those conversations. Go ahead and set something up. Speak with your significant other and have those conversations.
Right. I'm going to say, serve your significant other the way that Christ served the church. And keep him at the head of all, because that'll check your servitude, right?
Yeah.
On both ends. Him serving her and her serving him. That should always be a priority.
I don't think there should be any gender roles. You're my husband, I'm your wife. The vows say the two become one. So as one, we move together. Which means as one, the house is dirty, as one, we clean it. As one, we do this. As one, we do that. Now we do have our separate. He may like to garden, I don't.
Right.
But that's his thing. But if he asks, babe, can you help? Sure, what you need me to do? So I just think that we need to, for me, take out gender roles because that's so restrictive.
That's good, Sheila.
You know, that it's another label that the world has given us. As a man, he does this, and as a woman, she does that.
Right.
Why? Who said that? Where does it say that in the Bible? I mean, because the Bible is specific about the man's role and the woman's, but because of grace in the New Testament and what Jesus did, I don't think there should be any gender roles.
Right.
Because
No
if we
labels.
keep labels, because if we keep God at the head and we're seeking him on all decisions, then that's like a clear, write the vision. We don't need to write it. The Lord had already told us.
Right. So you can come together and figure out
Right.
what needs to be done and how to maintain.
And how to maintain it.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, that's kind of how my marriage is structured. You know, it ain't a him or a her. We just come together and make it work.
Right.
Come together and make it work. And if it ain't working, then we come together and figure out how to make it work again. It's just an ongoing conversation, right?
Exactly. Which it should be. Because I think you've said it, Angie. As we grow, as we get older, things change.
Yeah.
what we wouldn't accept at one time, we're older, we're like, that's so minor.
Right.
I'm not going to worry about that. You know, as we mature, things that probably didn't bother us may bother us now. It's just where we are in our growth.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, where couples married 30, 45 years, they ain't stayed married that long, and there hasn't, at least it shouldn't, there hasn't been any growth.
Yeah, you grow. Troy and I are at 30, it would be 30 years this year.
Yeah.
And I don't be checking for that
No.
foolishness. Whatever. Do you, sir? You know, do you? I said the other day, it would be nice if I came home and the kitchen was really clean. He was like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, right, wait on it, right? But when I came home, the kitchen was really clean. He said, I washed the dishes and cleaned the kitchen. I was like, oh, thank you. Considering they were your dishes, right, mighty nice of you. However, I held it all back and said, thank you, boo. Ain't that nice of you? You know what? But okay, you look, you that's your inside voice.
Right.
Your outside voice become, oh, thanks, boo. That's so sweet.
That's so nice of you. You should. Inside you going, you should have.
Right.
And I don't know why I had to say something for you to do it.
Right. But my outside is like, oh, thanks, boo. That was real nice of you. And he goes skipping on, like, just cheesing. Jesus. But hey, that's what makes the marriage work, right? So we hang it in there. All right, y'all, we thank you so much for staying with us in this episode regarding gender roles. We pray that you were blessed. Continue to follow us, like and subscribe our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram channels. Until next time, be blessed.
God